everybody. I just wanted to make a video in case you were assigned Collection 1, Test A. We're going to go through the answers to this real quick. Okay, so number 1, why does the roller skater and the rider want to move fast? Well, in the first stanza, it said that the boy told her that if he roller skated fast enough, he could escape his loneliness. So this is just one we can look up, and so our answer is B. Okay. Number 2, which adjective best describes the speaker and the rider? Afraid, lonely, angry, happy. Well, the speaker wants to get away from his or her loneliness. So that we have evidence for, that the speaker is lonely. We don't have evidence for any of the other things, so our best choice is going to be B. Okay. Number 3. Come on, number 3, open up. Okay, what aspect of the rider tells you that it is a lyric poem? Okay, lyric poems have to do with feelings and moments instead of telling a story. A narrative poem tells a story. A lyric poem is about a feeling or a moment that the speaker's trying to get across. And it usually, like the word narrate or the word lyric implies, it has kind of a musical quality to it. Okay, so let's go through our choices. What tells us that the writer is a lyric poem? It contains some long lines and some short lines. Well, that doesn't have to do with it being lyric or narrative. Either one of those could have that. It expresses the poet's thoughts on a single idea. Yes, that's a feeling, a moment. And it uses musical language. Yes. Okay, so B looks like a good choice. Choice C, it consists of only 4 verses. Not necessarily, they could both do that, right? Choice D, it could easily be set to music. Not necessarily. Now, we think of lyrics that go to music, but we don't have to have it where it can be set to music for it to be a lyric poem. So our best choice is going to be B, okay? Number 4. According to Seal, what noise does a seal make? Okay, again, we can go back and look this one up. This is an onomatopoeia that's in the poem. It never uses the word hiss. It never uses the word purr. Never uses the word click. It does say bark. It says with a whoop and a bark. So D is our best choice. Okay. Number 5. Come on. My computer's going really, really slowly. Here we go. What's the shape of the poem Seal? So that's a concrete poem. And it takes the shape of what it's talking about. And so when we look at that poem on the page, it makes a curve. It is not an L, a T, or a fish. A is our best choice. We can just look at the poem and see that. Okay. Number 6. Why is my computer so slow? Okay, which word best describes the seal in Seal? Okay, fierce and mean. Well, he's not fierce and he's not mean because it says at the end he's going to plop down beside you with a mouthful of fish. So that doesn't sound fierce. That does not sound mean. He's not fearful and shy, okay, because he's not acting timid at all. He's you know, plopping down beside you. He's not slow and lazy because it said before you can even say words like dill pickle, he's already got the fish and he's back. So he's not slow. So quick and soft would be a better description. So D is our best choice. Okay. Number 7, what's the seal doing in Seal? Again, we can look this one up. He's diving for food. It says he comes out with a mouthful of fish. So A is our best choice. Okay. Number 8, what did the details in Seal tell you about seals? They're quick and friendly. Yes, we already talked about that one. They have many enemies. Well, no. I mean, it might mention that just briefly, but the poem is not about enemies, and that's not really even a detail about the seal, right? That doesn't tell us about seals. They live in cold water. They live only in cold water. Well, that does not come across in the poem. And they avoid human company. That's the opposite. It says that he'll plop right down beside you, right? So the best choice here is going to be A. All right. Number 9. Come on, number 9. All right, what conclusion can you draw about the events surrounding the first haiku by Busan? Okay, the first haiku was the one about the ducklings, and it said, "Silly ducklings, don't you know that my pond is guarded by a weasel," or something like that. So we got the feeling something bad is going to happen at the end of that poem because we have little baby ducklings and we have a weasel that evidently is going to discover that they are there. So our best choice is that the weasel is going to kill the ducklings because we're left with that feeling of, oh no, there's a weasel that sees them, right? So D is our best choice, okay? Number 10, what feeling is created by the second one? The second one is the one where it said a leaf doesn't even dare to move, right? Something is afraid. Well, if we're talking about not daring to move and being afraid, the word that goes the best with that is suspense, B, okay? Those are the ones I might have to look up if I don't know what those mean, okay? Number 11, which of your senses, so we're talking your 5 senses, helps you to imagine the scene described in the third one? That's the one that talks about the moon setting in the forest and the shadows disappearing. So if we're talking about those things, that's got to be our sense of sight. So C, okay? Which sentence is the word utter used correctly? If I utter a word out loud, I'm saying it out loud. So the word utter means to say, okay? So our best choice is going to be C. The playful seals utter cries of delight. That's something they could do out loud and make a sound with, okay? Number 13, which of the following events, characters, or objects can be said to make a swerve? Okay, if I swerve out of the way on the road, I'm going to kind of make a curvy motion, right? So, and we know that that happened in the poem The Seal. The seal swerves. And a roller skater could swerve, right? They could kind of make a curvy motion. So B would be our best choice there, okay? Number 14, which one has an infinitive? Okay, an infinitive is the word to with a verb. And so it's got to be like to read, to write, to stay, to listen, okay? And our one that has a verb, we have 2 that have the word to in it, A and B. But this one says to escape, and this one says to the skateboarder. And the one that has a verb is this one, to escape. So A is our correct choice. Okay, and our last question, number 15. Which of these sentences contains an infinitive phrase? Okay, well, if an infinitive is to with a verb, then an infinitive phrase is just going to be a phrase that goes with that. So we have 2 choices that have the word to in there. We have to the surface, and we have to watch for its grace and swiftness. Okay, to the surface is not a verb. You can't do this. You can't do anything there. The surface is not an action, but watching is to watch. So C is our best choice because that's going to be our infinitive phrase. Okay, so that will conclude our video on Collection 1 Test A.